Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I want to share a story with you. Say her name. Her name was Tristan Kate Smith. She was from Ohio and she was 28 years old, and she unalived herself. She was a nurse, and this has sparked a lot of outrage. So many nurses across the whole country are speaking up, saying the truth about what goes on in healthcare. So much stress from healthcare. And there have been many other cases of nurses who have unalived themselves. I told you before that I know a nurse who told me how rigorous the program is. To become a nurse is not easy. And that when she was in school, two of the students committed, you know what, they unalived themselves because they couldn't get through the program. It's very hard. And when you go into nursing, yeah, the money can be really good, but if you don't have patience, if you don't have a heart, it's a lot of stress. But there are a number of nurses who have that, a heart, patience. They're caring, everything that you would want, and they get burnt out. I've heard it so many times. The same nurse told me about a nurse who she just gave it all up, and now she works at Walmart, making all that good money. She couldn't take it anymore, and she'd rather work at Walmart than be a nurse. I told you the story of a nurse, how if nurses don't like you, sometimes they can lie and say you didn't pass out your medicine, and some of the bosses at the facilities don't do an investigation. They just fire you. I've heard stories of nurses feeling very unappreciated when they take care of the patients, even if the patient is very racist. And sometimes the families, let's say it's racism, they don't want a Black nurse, and how you do everything and go beyond, and they don't leave you a thank you note. They don't thank you, no acknowledgement, and much more. And even when it's not racism, just nurses doing their job, they don't get appreciated or being overworked. So many nurses, RNs, LPNs, CNAs. Now, CNAs are not nurses, but still, everybody is a part of it. How you can be extremely overbooked. One person that has to see maybe 30 or 40 patients, not having what you need, needing some help, not being able to eat or have a break, not being staffed. It's a lot. Nursing homes and hospitals, especially when COVID happened. And Tristan unalived herself. Her parents found a letter on her laptop they didn't even know, explaining what was causing her psychological, emotional, mental health to go down, where she felt like she couldn't take it anymore, and she unalived herself. And the letter is called A Letter to My Abuser. Her parents want this story to go viral so people know what's going on and how the stress of the job, not being a priority as a nurse as well, mental health, how it caused her demise. And there have been a lot of nurses, I've been reading the comments, I've seen it before this even happened, stressing about how hard it is, how overworked they are, how unappreciated they are, and in many cases also how underpaid they are, because you don't all get paid the same. In some states, you can be a RN making only 20 something dollars versus making $40 in another state versus $60 in another state. But also, I had said before how I've been to a hospital and I felt like some nurses were very cold. They just didn't seem like they even cared at all. And that really bothered me. But I also understand that sometimes a number of them get burned out from the profession, extremely overstressed. If you work in a nursing home, if you can't handle seeing patients pass away and you have bonds with them, very, very mentally damaging to a number of nurses. Not everybody can take it. Okay. And sometimes the higher up people, again, you're just disposable as a nurse sometimes, and being worked and worked and worked and worked, and not enough people wanting you to do another person's job, but they don't want to pay you for it. Supplies not there. A lot more. A lot. So what I'm going to do, I want to read to you her letter. I want to read you her letter, a letter to my abuser that her parents found after she committed you know what. And a lot of nurses are talking about this, and I want the world to see this because it is serious what's going on. And I'm sure many of you who are in the healthcare profession, not just nurses, got stories for days. Okay, so leave it in the comment sections. Now let me read to you her letter. Okay, so here it is again. A letter to my abuser. I'm going to zoom in so I can read this to you. On Monday, August 7, 2023, our beautiful girl, Tristan Kate Smith, ended her life. She was 28 years old and the youngest of 2 brothers and 3 sisters. She was a daughter. She was an aunt, she was a friend, she was a nurse. Tristan was brave and beautiful and smart. She fought depression for a long time. With regret-filled hindsight, we can now see the signs for what they were. She never sought professional help, but her home was filled with evidence that she had been trying to help herself. Her beloved dog, Calypso, and Sphinx wanted nothing. Tristan spent her time and energy with them. We found more dog enrichment toys. And I'm trying to see some of it. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay. She had written and posted positive affirmations and mantras throughout her house. She displayed photos of herself with her friends, family, and pets. She had reached out to friends and family. She tried hard to stay alive, but none of it was enough to stop the darkness. You're reading this now because her story needs to be told. We need to take action. Our nation's healthcare system is broken, and it broke our girl. Her passion for nursing had turned into a nightmare. Tristan was in trouble. Nurses are in trouble. Female nurses commit unaliving at more than twice the rate of other women in the general population. We must do better. Call or email your Congress people. Tell them we can do better. Reach out to your friends in nursing and offer to listen. Help them get the help they need. The following is a letter we discovered on Tristan's laptop, March of 2023. Letter to my abuser. This is what she said. Ever since I was young, I expressed interest in healthcare and becoming a nurse. So I began to study. I gave my heart, my body, and my mind to you. I dedicated long hours and days and gave you my all. I have cried with patience their families and for them. I held their hands, and they held mine. As I move forward in my nursing career, my patients and their families have been there for me, supported me, and reminded me why I do what I do. I thought that was enough. This would be all I needed to carry me through my career. I told you I would be there through the good and the bad, but you have taken my heart and slowly crushed the goodness I had. You love bombed me with affection, and you told me I was going into a career that mattered, that I could make a difference. You made me feel comfortable, despite the rumors of your abusive past. Rumors I didn't want to believe. The compliments, the pizzas, the thank you letters gradually had less meaning to me. The staff I worked beside began to go away. In your eyes, these staff were unnecessary, but it came at a high cost for the advertised quality care provided to our patients by those of us who were left. You asked my colleagues and me what we needed to help patients and improve the satisfaction scores, and we told you the truth. But then you sent us to online courses that taught us just to smile more and be friendlier to the patients. That's when I began to understand your true cruelty and manipulation. I remember the first time I heard about nurses getting hit. I remember that you asked them what they had done or didn't do to prevent it from happening. Don't protect yourself by fighting back, you said. Just lay with your hands over your head and wait until security comes. You created an environment of fear and blame in a place we absolutely felt unsafe. You blamed us for things out of our control. You criminally charged my colleagues for things that happened as a direct result of your own actions. The law doesn't protect us, and neither do you. I no longer feel like you care about me or the people you say you serve. I sit at my front desk just waiting for someone to walk in front of the street and SHOO, my patience in me. You do not care about keeping us protected. You haven't provided even the slightest amount of security to keep us safe. You use and exploit us to line your pockets, using the common citizen's money for overpriced health care. You are a narcissist. I can see you for what you really are. You say you care, but you ignore us while we beg on our hands and knees. You tell us we do so much and that we put up with so much. But when we dare to think we are finally going to get the love and support we deserve, we get a pizza party, and free pins for healthcare heroes. I so desperately want to continue to help people, but I cannot stay in this abusive relationship. Each day you ask us to do more with less. What did I say? You beat me to the point that my body and mind are black, bruised and bleeding out. I'm only sorry to my patients and colleagues. You deserve much better, but my abusive partner is relentless. If I stay, I will lose my sanity and possibly my life forever. Ooh, my goodness. So that's the letter before she did what she did. And I have to say that, that's a lot. And you can feel what she's saying. And I have heard this before this happened. It's very true what goes on. And I feel like she should have just quit. Do not take your life. Quit. I know that it can be hard for a lot of nurses to do this after all the studying and the school, all the work you put in. Money, bills are due. It pays the bills. You might think, what am I going to do? I went to school for this. I can't start over. But like I said, that one nurse who now works at Walmart because she couldn't take it anymore. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do for your sanity. But she was suffering from mental health issues. And it was too much for her. Too much. And it affected her mental health issue. Not everybody can take things. Sometimes it can be too much on a person. All throughout the letter. And when she said the letter to my abuser, patients hitting us. I've seen it. A lot of Black nurses, all nurses get hit, but a lot of Black nurses, I know for a fact, they get called the N-word constantly by patients. You can't say anything. What can you really say? You have to do your job. But, they got dementia. You got dementia, but you can remember to call me the N-word, though. Getting spit on, all of them. All of them. Beat up. And they told her, she said, you told us to just smile and be friendlier. What did you do? What did you do? Take it. Getting hit. No security, no protection, especially throughout the nursing homes. No, at large, no. In some cases, the patients may be throwing, it's a lot. Okay. She said, instead of fixing things, you told us to take online classes and stuff, or all the work that we do, the most we can get as a reward is some pins after all the abuse or a pizza. Okay. Not having enough things for what we need, but you keep telling us to do more with less. One nurse having, close to 40 beds to see, CNAs and everything like that. Okay. And then getting blamed if stuff doesn't get done and you refuse to hire more or pay people right and things like that. I read the letter. the list of the things. And she said, "You turned my good heart wanting to help. I cried with families. I held their hand. I had empathy. I was there for them. But you, my employer, the whole healthcare system, where are you at for us when we need help? You're just a nurse that walks in, clocks in, get paid, and they dispose of you." I've heard of nurses say, "Don't give too much on the job," because they will fire your behind within one day after you have been on the job for 20 years over something little that you might not have even done, and they get rid of you because you're just a number that clocks in, and they don't think anything of you like that. That's a lot of jobs, period. A lot of jobs, treat you like that. And there are so many people on jobs who feel, "Let me go beyond and they'll recognize me." And it doesn't happen a lot of times. That's why there's a movement right now called quiet quitting, where people, they're still on the job, but they're no longer trying to get accolades and stuff like that or do more. They're not even getting paid more or acknowledged. They're like, "You know what? I'm just coming to work. I'm going to do my job, but I'm not trying to go above and beyond anymore." A lot of nurses have seen this letter. They are responding. I've read the comments. A number of people said, "This is why I left bedside. This is why I gave it up," because overworked, understaffed, underappreciated, sometimes underpaid, and you're working to death. Don't get me started too on CNAs. Those women have to lift 300-pound people, a woman. And she's given like 40 people to see in one day sometimes. It's crazy. And not getting the help you need. And like I said, I've heard the stories personally of things that go on in nursing. Okay, not just with the people in charge, but understaffing people, the patient abuse. In some cases, the family's not giving a damn about you, not thanking you for all you do, making you feel like nothing after all you do. That's not always the case. Not wanting to pay you again, not enough supplies because they don't want to pay for it. A lot. And other dirty nurses too, who will get you fired for stuff you didn't even do and all of that. You got to be strong to get into healthcare. But also, if you get to a point like Tristan, where your mental health is severely suffering and you just can't take it anymore, and you end up writing a letter like this, it's time to quit. Time to quit. If it gets really bad, I would probably just search for another job. I think she was working in the hospital, but the hospital or the nursing home, same thing. Maybe try to become a school nurse around children, but I don't know if the pay is as good. And I know people might say it's not always about the pay, but when you got bills to pay, it let's all be honest here, but it can be difficult when you want to give it up nursing. I mean, what you going to do when you start all over and you went to school for it and stuff. And it's a nightmare for a number of nurses. And I wish that she would have gotten professional therapy before this happened. But it's not always the case. And I can relate to her because I have felt like her more than once, multiple times throughout my life. So I know the struggle personally. It can happen to anyone. I don't like for people to dismiss distress and depression and thoughts of unaliving yourself. "Oh, it'll just go away," or "Oh, it ain't nothing. Oh, you need to be more stronger. Oh, this and that." That's not, please with that. Please with it. Please with it. And may Tristan rest in peace. She's not here anymore. She said in the letter to my abuser, you're going to make me lose my sanity or lose me forever. And it became too much and she's gone. She's gone physically, and it's a shame what happened. I want more nurses to share people, period. But a lot of nurses are saying it's time for us to start a union. Send this to the CEOs, the executives of these healthcare facilities. Let them see her story Send the story, let them see. Because nurses have been saying it all over social media for years. I've seen it about the same stuff she said. Will they take it seriously or not care? In fact, the nursing profession, I mean, sometimes they say it's growing, sometimes I hear it's declining and stuff. And you don't always hear a lot of nurses tell you what's really going on. She said that in the letter they advertise it as quality care and happiness and stuff like that, but they don't tell you what it's really like for the nurses in there, what they go through. So I just wanted to share Tristan's story with you, share this video, get the word out, okay? And if you are in any profession suffering mental health problems and you need someone to talk to, my email is right there. Or if you feel you need more professional help with a psychiatrist or therapist, then do that. And if you feel in some cases you need to just quit, you just can't, it's serious. You do what you need to do, and it's going to be okay. So thank you so much, everybody. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe and hit the bell for all notifications so you know when I upload these videos and when I'm live. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Rest in peace, Tristan.